Hi friends, welcome back to Feni for the Soul. So we have with us a very interesting person, Parashar Joshi, all the way from Pune. Now Parashar is a multifaceted man. He is my super junior from the St Vincent's High School, Pune. Parashar has begun as a computer engineer. Then he's a rock star. He's been at the Indian Idol 2008. And then he's a motorcyclist. He's a pan-India motorcyclist and now an IPL cricket umpire, no less. So welcome to Goa, Parashar.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to do this interview. So Parashar, tell me, how do you wear? Tell us about your journey from computer engineer to all the four things I mentioned to the IPL umpire.
Quite a lot of it actually happened by accident, and quite a lot of it is probably God's plan in a way, looking at it from that angle. I landed up in engineering because of an elimination process. I didn't want to do medicine, though my mother is a doctor. My father didn't allow me to do commerce, though he's a chartered accountant. I wanted to play cricket at that time and become a cricketer. So joining the rat race, most of my friends were going in engineering and I didn't know what else there is in life at that point of time. So like a herd mentality, I ended up in engineering. I thank my lucky stars that IT is the branch that I chose. Had it been any more difficult, then probably I would have struggled to even graduate and complete engineering successfully. So that is how I landed into engineering. And I never really enjoyed it. During those 4 years, first couple of years was spent in trying to make it as a cricketer because I was still in my under 19s, but it didn't happen. I didn't cross the club level cricket level, and thereafter I got into music on a different level because that coincided, my third year of engineering coincided with the advent of reality shows, music reality shows. That is when the first season of Indian Idol came. And that is when I decided, why not give it a shot, because I'd been singing right from my school days. From the age of 5, I was participating in school elocutions and I was in the school band. So maybe that was a spiritual nudge for me to, just move towards music once again. And while my classmates were busy with GRE and this and all of that, I was doing something that was completely different. And maybe that is how the transition happened from computer engineering to music. And I did music for almost 5 or 6 years after passing out from computer engineering. And cricket umpiring was nowhere on the horizon at that point of time. I was just playing cricket at the club level just to maintain the fitness and from a passion point of view. And again, in another maybe I would say destiny driven kind of a situation, a friend of mine who we used to play for the same club team and who used to play the keyboards in my band, his father saw an advertisement in the local newspaper about the umpiring exam. So he asked me, ki Parya tula exam dyayichi ka? So I was like, yeah, why not, let's give it a shot. So at that point of time I was balancing music with a job. I was a content writer at that point of time. I wore that hat also for 2 years. But I couldn't sustain, kalakar manus nokri nahi karu shakat kind of a thing. So I quit, and that is when the umpiring exam was announced. So I just enlisted. I forgot all about it. Lagna zala, we had gone for a honeymoon. On the way back, I got a call from our state association ki tumhi asa naw lilo hoto, from tomorrow evening onwards your classes begin. And that is when it struck me ki I had done something like that. Next day evening, I landed up at that Tilak Mahavidyalaya, was probably where the classes were held, with a compass box, a notebook, and that is where our senior umpires at that point of time who were teaching us, educators, they were standing in front of me, some with a BCCI logo on their t-shirt and all of that. So it really felt very attractive. Ki, Are, kya baat hai? And that is when, they showed us, ki, see, this is how the structure is. You start off at the local level, then you can become a state panel umpire, you can become an BCCI panel umpire. That is how the flow chart is. This is how the pyramid is as far as a career is concerned. So that is when I realized that cricket mein there are 42 laws. There are 10 ways of getting out. So all these ways, all these things we didn't know when we are playing.
Yeah.
We only knew all the common things. So it became very interesting. And my homework द्यायचे आम्हाला ते की about the different type of examples की fielder इतक्या वाजता बाहेर गेला, then he came back after 1 hour. So meanwhile there was a rain stoppage for 10 minutes. Now when can he bowl and all these kind of things. So that sort of homework when we had to do at home, it was like it didn't feel like a burden because it was stuff that I really enjoyed. I mean, that is when I realized that this is probably the next best thing to playing in a way.
Yes.
To stay in tune with the game and be involved in it at a very active level. So completely opposite to the experience I had during my engineering days when Abhyas used to feel like a torture. It used to be like it's wonderful, bring it on kind of a thing. So maybe that kind of helped in terms of clearing all the exams because it kind of came naturally, and when I actually officiated in my first club game, it just felt right. It felt lovely. I mean, it didn't feel out of place. Ki, Arey, what am I doing here? Because I knew of some cricketer turned umpires who didn't really feel comfortable transitioning into the umpiring role. Thankfully for me, मला तसं काही नाही वाटलं. It just felt like a natural extension, and at that point of time I was not even thinking about the long-term career prospects. To be very honest, I had gotten into it just as a supporting medium to my career as a musician at that point of time, because I had just quit my job, so I needed something to balance out my overall career at that point of time. But I think certain things happen, and one step after the other, I cleared one level after the other, and in 2011 is when I started, and 2015 I got onto the BCCI panel, and that is when everything changed, and
fantastic.
10 years later.
And then you started doing Ranji Trophy and Dulip Trophy.
Yeah, initially when I got onto the national panel in 2015, initial couple of years, it's like a very smooth initiation process. So because suddenly at the local level you're doing matches where there are no cameras, there is nothing, so you're not really used to that environment. Once you get into the BCCI matches, every match is covered by 6 cameras, so sometimes getting used to the fact that you're being watched, how are you going to how are your decisions going to be judged in terms of cameras. Sometimes officiating in a match covered with cameras can make you a little bit wary, or so getting used to that whole environment is essential. So for the first couple of years we were allotted junior matches, so that you're initiated into the system in a smooth way, and with every passing year then the level of difficulty increases. So first couple of years I did under 16 and the women's games, then I progressed to under 19, under 23. I made my Ranji Trophy debut in the 2020 season, 2021 actually, and it was a very nice progression from there, and last year I officiated Dulip Trophy. So it felt good. I mean, with every passing year, you were going up the ladder. Yes.
My next question is really how has the IPL experience been? 2025, and
IPL experience has been very enriching. I mean, a couple of years back, I officiated in the IPL in the capacity of a 4th umpire, which had its own set of challenges. This year it was a level even higher. I was on-field umpire for quite a few games. So with that, it's like the real thing, officiating on-field. So with DRS and with the crowd and with everything. So it was a very enriching experience, and learned quite a lot of how to even शोर में साइलेंस कैसे आप आपका खुद का मैनेज कर सकते हो, like even in a packed stadium at Chepauk or maybe Wankhede with 60,000 people whistling and all of that, how you need to find a way to remain in your zone and just focus on what is at the opposite end, and at the same time not be flustered with star players or all these things. Just do your job, one ball after the other. So it has been a very enriching experience, and it has helped a lot with boosting the self-confidence as well. Now I know that I can.
You belong here.
Yeah, I belong at this level, and I can.
Great.
Get there.
I'm very tempted to ask you. You mentioned star cricketers just now. So what happens is that as a IPL umpire, you have so many stars playing this IPL. Is there incidents of them intimidating the umpires at all? In some situations?
To be very honest, in whatever games I did both this year as well as a couple of years previously, I did not encounter any such kind of situations. But having said that, I mean, it can happen on any given day. If it were to happen, I guess all of us at the end of the day, I mean the match officials and all, we need to remember that at the end of the day we are there in a professional role.
Correct.
So regardless of whether the player in front of you is a star player or maybe a youngster who's playing his first game, we need to treat each one at the same level,
thing,
and we cannot differentiate between the two. At the end of the day, we need to do our job as professionals.
Correct. Now you have to tell us about your 2008 Indian Idol experience. How did you battle the nerves?
I battled quite a lot actually, not just the nerves, I battled opposition from family also. I started auditioning for Indian Idol back in 2005-06 when I was still in engineering. First couple of years I had a lot of failed attempts at the auditions. I visited this city, I was rejected, then I went to that city, I was rejected, then I tried the next year. So after I think 11 or 12 attempts, finally at 2008 is when I managed to clear all the rounds and I made it to the top 25, 30, whatever that piano round it was. And by which time I think I was battle hardened in a way. So nerves were not present in that sense, but having said that, at the end of the day, it's like a game, like in cricketing terminology. When you call play and when the bowler is running in, you have butterflies in the stomach. Same way on the set when the judges are there with all the camera crew and everything, and when finally even after a lot of rehearsals you still have to, when it is your time to sing, for sure there will be some butterflies in the stomach, which I feel is good, because then otherwise you tend to get complacent.
Right.
So it was a nice experience. It was a thing to show business, how things work and all of that.
This very nice. So the audience will be happy to know that Parashar is not alone here in Goa. Of course, he's come with his family. That's his wife Shruti and daughter Nihira. Right. So there they are. Welcome to Feni for the Soul. Come. Why don't you all come and join him? Yeah. So I am I am very keen that they face the camera is because now the other hat that Parashar wears, and that's he's an avid motorcyclist, pan-India motorcyclist. What Royal Enfield do you have?
I have a Royal Enfield Thunderbird.
Thunderbird, so, wow, that high handle.
Cruiser kind
of thing.
motorcycle.
Yeah, it's a good motorcycle. Yeah. So I am this family, this Joshi family has travelled the length and breadth of India. Believe it or not, all three of them. So they recently went to Meghalaya, from Pune to Meghalaya and back via I don't know how many states, and all three helmeted, of course, and safety precautions. Tell me how Parashar, how did you manage that? How did you pull it off?
To be honest, I became an accidental motorcyclist also. I was never into motorcycles. I always used to ride a kinetic Honda because cricket's a kid wala soko padaisa munun. I became a motorcyclist by accident when we went to Ladakh on a rented motorcycle, and that is when the bug bit me. So when I came back, I literally almost exhausted my savings and bought this Royal Enfield Thunderbird. Passion over, mind over matter kind of a
heart
thing.
over head.
Heart over head is the perfect thing. And maybe genetically it has come into Nihira, because from the age of 2 she has gotten onto the motorcycle with a helmet, and that is when the bug has probably bitten her as well. So all three of us are most comfortable on a motorcycle as opposed to maybe a car or something like that. And as far as long distance motorcycling is concerned, it was a gradual progression. I mean, initially we started with 100 or 152 kilometer, 200 kilometer rides just to build up the stamina, because it is not easy for any pillion rider to sit on the pillion seat for such an extended period of time. You need a lot of physical fitness also. You need that desire also, otherwise it can become a burden. ये कहाँ लेके जा रहा है मुझे, क्यों लेके जा रहा है, मैं flight से जाती है, and all of that. So credit to both of them for supporting my madness for this.
This is not a Thunderbird. it's a Royal Enfield. So no worries. So Shruti, tell me how did your own motorcycle journey begin? You mentioned something about the Ladakh trip.
Yeah, my motorcycle journey began back in 2011-12 when we did our first Leh Ladakh trip. So at that time, it was even the first time experience for me as well. And considering that he didn't have even his bike of his own, most of the family members and friends had said that you don't go for this trip because he's going to drive for the first time, and the road conditions there are also going to be pretty different than what it is in the city. But when we did that trip, there was no turning back, because it was such a beautiful experience to go to a region like Leh Ladakh on a motorbike, and then we repeated that trip, and then others followed.
Wonderful. So hey, Nihira, you went to Meghalaya with your parents on a motorcycle, of course all helmeted and all. And how did you like it?
Very much.
Very much. So, what did you like about the trip? Sitting on the motorcycle or touring Meghalaya?
Both.
Both. What did you like about Meghalaya?
Greenery and nature.
Greenery and nature is nice, no? In Meghalaya,
Yes.
better than Pune.
Yes.
She's been part of 2 long distance motorcycle trips. First was in Himachal Pradesh and second Meghalaya. So now she can't settle for anything less, is what she
You
says.
set the benchmark very high.
Benchmark is very high.
Right. So I'm going to ask a final question to Parashar. Parashar, both you and me and so many others have been to the St Vincent High School. It's our alma mater. So what role has the school played in shaping your personality?
Oh, massive. I would say a huge chunk of whatever I am doing today is probably the credit goes to my alma mater, St Vincent, and all the teachers. I mean, I've been very fortunate that way because the infrastructure, the value system, everything that I was lucky to receive from the school. As far as my music career is concerned, my school is where I started singing right from class 1. So getting that platform, being in the school band, maybe that sowed the seeds to some extent. And like I said, I had good teachers who, somewhere down the line, they instilled the belief that you can still take the road less traveled and, still find ways to succeed in unconventional careers or unconventional paths also.
Fantastic.
Students, fair and true, we shall dare and do and win.
Vincenti Davetor. Okay, thank you so much, all of you. Hi folks, this is Parashar Joshi singing Yara, his people-centric music video, So enjoy it.